when you got houses all over the world, and you got every kind of automobile you can have, and you've been all around the world, and of course, I mean, this is us being honest, you didn't been with some of the prettiest women to ever walk this earth. I mean, it's more like there's really nothing else you can really do.
Floyd "Money" Mayweather Jr. He's only a few fights away from breaking Rocky Marciano's record, but he's also gunning to set records in business. Thanks in large part to his pay-per-view partnership with Showtime, he earned $85 million last year, with at least 2 years to go and 4 fights left in his professional career. Like it or not, Mayweather is the face of boxing and rakes in piles and piles of money every time he steps in the ring. He's loved and hated for his flamboyant style and his unapologetic mission to make as much money in as few fights as possible, all up against the controversial backdrop that he served 2 months in jail related to a misdemeanor domestic battery case. But what has Floyd Mayweather learned from his remarkable career and his life? And considering his love for earning and spending money, could he ever become a billionaire? I visited Mayweather and his business partner, Leonard Ellerbe, in Mayweather's gym in Las Vegas. They talked about Mayweather's future and his upcoming fight against Canelo Alvarez. Welcome, Floyd Mayweather. You're an intellectual fighter. I know that you've been studying his weaknesses. What are the weaknesses that you're going to exploit?
Well, I know he doesn't have the experience that I have. I have a lot of experience, you know, at the top-notch level. You know, at the top level, I have a lot more experience than he does. So we'll just see how he can handle the pressure.
So you're coming in a little heavier. Does that affect your hand speed? And do you see your small size as an advantage or a disadvantage?
I don't think that, you know, weight has anything to do with the fight. I think it's all about the skills. And I think that I'm a very, very skillful fighter. I'm a thinker. And that's how I've been, you know, that's how I've been victorious. And I've been winning, you know, throughout my career, just being a very, very smart fighter.
You've also been a smart businessman, and you've been winning in that too.
Yes.
Sitting at the helm of the Mayweather Promotion Company, you want to fight as few fights as possible and make as much money as possible. Do you see yourself becoming a billionaire one day?
I really don't know. I really can't say. But right now I'm on a good pace.
What are the parts of your business that could help you get there?
Only thing I have to do is continue to surround myself with the right people. And it's all about timing. Everything is about timing. And different relationships and networking with the right people. And that's what I've been able to do. I had good timing. I've been able to network with the right people, been in the right place at the right time, and I had luck on my side.
When you were fighting under Bob Arum, was there a time in your career that you said, you know what, I want to be an owner. I want to own my brand. And what sparked that?
Just not wanting to be like every other fighter. You know, what's great about Floyd Mayweather is I'm different from any other fighter because I own everything outright 100%. And even when I go out there and compete, I keep 100% of the revenue. So that's never been done before. And I got to take my hat off to Al Heyman, which is one of the best businessmen in the world, and another sharp businessman, Leonard. We had a great relationship. We had a great game plan, and it worked.
Leonard Ellerbe is the CEO of Mayweather's company, The Money Team. He recalled the days when he and a younger Mayweather dreamed of striking out on their own.
All along we were, you know, had the mindset of wanting to do it ourselves, you know, thinking big picture. When the time was right, you know, he was at the end of his contract. We formed our own company, and here we are in 2013.
At the time when you were under Arum, did he pick up on that? Did he feel like, oh, these guys are going to learn what they can, and then at some point they're going to evolve, and then he's going to be his own brand? Or did it come as a surprise to him?
No, I spent a lot of time picking his brain. You know, he's been a very successful promoter for, you know, a number of years. So You know, I learned a lot from being around that situation on the right things and the wrong things to do.
Today, under his Mayweather Promotions Company, Mayweather promotes his own fights. Under the 30-month 6-fight deal Mayweather signed with Showtime earlier this year, all ticket revenue, pay-per-view, and sponsorships go to Mayweather. He pays his opponent and pays all overhead costs.
Floyd Mayweather is his own boss. He dictates when, where, how, and how much his opponent is going to make.
And when you look at that arrangement, has that always been received well in the boxing community?
No, not at all. You know, with success comes a lot of other things that, you know, you can't worry about. You know, of course there's a lot of, you know, other promoters, managers, fighters who are jealous, but, you know, my take on it is that, you know, go out and work as hard as we work to form your own company and do creative things to elevate your situation.
Mayweather is hoping to position himself to be a major promoter after he retires.
And the only thing I can do is continue to learn and study. Guys like Bill Gates, even Al Heyman, just Mark Cuban, you know.
Do you talk to those guys?
I mean, I have relationships with. I have a lot of billionaire friends, and when we talk business. It's not just business, but I have, you know, great relationships with them to where, you know, they put me in, you know, before you know it, you know, I'm put in a position to where making the right moves, millions and millions of dollars to be coming in every month when I'm retired.
And when he enters boxing promotion on the full scale, he'll likely compete for younger fighters against superstar rapper Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, who's now promoting fighters. Once best of friends, the two had a rift last year that was widely publicized. I can remember when 50 was like you guys were really doing a lot together. What did you learn from him and what did he learn from you about business?
Well, me and him really never really talked about business. I think we handle business, you know, in a
So
total.
he wasn't one of the friends that you talked business with?
I mean, well, you know, we handle business in a total different way. You know, I can't really speak on how he handles business, but how I handle business is people around, you know, people that works for me, like no different from Leonard Ellerbe. He's a multi-millionaire. So, and other people that I've dealt with around me are multi-millionaires. That's what I do. I believe in not just myself making money.
Everybody around
I believe in making everybody around me an entrepreneur, and I believe in making everybody around me rich.
In an interview earlier this year, 50 gave me his own insights on Mayweather.
He's just a little insecure, so he doesn't even want to share the spotlight with his dad. You see what I'm saying? And it's gonna be about Floyd. That's all. There's no any other issues between it. Like don't get it wrong when you say like, because Floyd is somebody that's like, it's like my brother. So he'll fall out, we have attitude, or go after each other one day, and then the next day he'll call, we talk to each other. And
that's cool to hear that.
Yeah.
Is it possible that you could become friends with him again?
Well, we're always gonna be friends.
Okay.
Like we're friends now. Like there's never like, we never stopped being friends. It just was the public was being made aware of an argument.
But for as flashy and outspoken as Mayweather can be, his fighting style is arguably one of the most defensive, conservative, and disciplined in the game. His father and trainer, Floyd Mayweather Sr., is the mastermind behind the approach that's made him seemingly unbeatable. Despite his undefeated record of 44-0, he has no major endorsements. You're the winningest athlete in sports. You're the face of boxing, but the endorsements haven't been there. What kinds of products would you like to endorse, and what kinds of companies would you like to partner with?
The endorsements are there. There's only one endorsement, TMT, the money team. And so I believe in endorsing myself. I don't have anything against Nike. I don't have anything against Nike. I don't have anything against Reebok. I don't have anything against Adidas, but why can't I endorse myself? I'm at the top in Forbes, with and they say that I don't have an endorsement deal. I do have an endorsement deal. I'm endorsed, by myself.
Would you accept endorsements from other companies?
If I can get ownership, yes. Only if I can get ownership and if they can help me take my brand to the next level. But if not, I don't want no endorsement. I'm fine.
Ellerbe insists that Mayweather has had offers, but he has yet to be approached with one that makes sense for him. Do you think that you could do more to cross him over into the mainstream world in terms of endorsements? I know he said he doesn't need endorsements, which he doesn't, but he's the winningest athlete. He's the face of boxing. Why aren't Nike and Rolex and all of these companies coming to him? Because this guy is luxury all over.
There have been corporations who have came to us trying to offer us deals, but Floyd fortunately is in a position that he's in control, that he makes that decision on what fits with his brand. And I think he couldn't have said it best. He's his own, he's endorsing himself. I mean, here it is that, he made over $85 million last year and without one single endorsement.
Do you ever look at the fact that Tiger Woods, we know what Tiger Woods did, that he has endorsements, but Floyd doesn't?
Well, it's different because boxing isn't a mainstream sport. It's all about, what Floyd, being creative and us having a great team has been able to do with his business model. That's the key. Everyone can't do that because you have to have certain elements to be able to take your brand to the next level.
If there are any endorsement offers down the line, Mayweather will certainly be prepared for the negotiation. I gotta think that you're just as fierce outside of the ring and the negotiations table as you are in the ring. Are you involved in that, and what tip can you give people about negotiations?
I just truly believe in, if you're put in a position to where you know that you can win longevity, but somebody presenting you a deal that you're questioning, don't take the deal. Hold out. And that's what I did. That's why I have the biggest deal in sports history, because I held out. And I took my time and I had patience. And that's what it's about.
When you think long term, obviously you're going to stay in the game of boxing. But you have kids. Do you see them involved in the company someday?
I think my children are going to take they're going to take a different way. They're going to go a different way.
And why is that?
I think, well, I have a son my youngest son is very, very, very smart as far as when it comes to computer and technology and things like that. My other son, he's a teenager now, 14. He's into the girls because he's at that stage. My daughter, my oldest daughter, I'm forcing golf on her, even if she don't want to golf. Okay. Just like my dad forced boxing on me. Now look at me today. So I'm going to put my oldest daughter into golf. My youngest daughter, we don't know yet, but my oldest daughter, golf.
So long term, what will happen to TMT and Mayweather Promotions? You'll sell the company because you're going to build it. I'm building.
It's building right now, and we're doing a lot of great things.
So what happens to the company long term?
If we have to sell it, then we will. But it all depends on what you're offering. Because I still got to have stock.
He's also taking a tough stance on the question of whether he'll fight rival Manny Pacquiao, whose two recent losses have lessened the likelihood of a showdown between Pacquiao versus Mayweather. Some have estimated that fight could generate $250 million in pay-per-view revenue. Interviewed Pacquiao the other day. Mm-hmm. Two brutal losses, embarrassing losses for him. If he were able to go back and beat Marquez, and let's say he beats Rios, mm-hmm. would you give him a chance?
The first thing is this, like I said, it's all about business. What we can offer Pacquiao is if he's ever a free agent, if he's ever free, I mean, we got a contract that you can sign, and you can come sign under Mayweather Promotions, and then we can see where we can go from there.
Do you think he would ever entertain that and be amenable to that, or is the blood too thick between you guys?
I mean, like I said before, you're comparing the two. It's like comparing a watermelon to a grape.
Yeah, no more, right? But will there be? Do you see, because people talk, right? Mm-hmm. In your career, you get in the Hall of Fame. Will there be that asterisk in some people's minds? Well, he never beat Pacquiao. Well, and is that something you even care about or think about?
Say, well, they can say he's never beat Pacquiao, but you know what? He's never took no abuse in the sport of boxing. He was in the sport 20 years. He didn't take any abuse. He made over $500 million liquid. He's currently still making millions every month, and he's healthy. His family is healthy, and he's helping everybody around him become entrepreneurs, and everything that he touches turns to gold.
Even without the Pacquiao fight, it's clear that Mayweather will continue to generate millions. What's not clear is his vision for his platform and his wealth in the future. Have you studied Muhammad Ali and the things that Ali did outside of the ring to impact social change? And is that part of your plan as well, or is it really the money, making as much money as possible?
It's really not all about the money, because you get to a point in your life to where you cannot buy nothing else. You know, when you got houses all over the world, and you got every kind of automobile you can have, and you've been all around the world, and of course, I mean, this is us being honest. You didn't been with some of the prettiest women to ever walk this earth. I mean, it's more like there's really nothing else you can really do, but only want the best for your children and your family. Health is more important.
So what do you do then? I mean, I talk to a lot of young, famous, wealthy guys, and I do see that. I see the evolution. There's something that happens when they realize, you know what? I'm talent, but I'm not the owner yet. And you're the owner, so you've gotten to that point. So what happens now with the $500 million?
My name is everything that I got. One thing, I don't want to be known as a person that's, full of bull crap. I want to be known as a person that's honest and a person that does good business. So anytime you mention Floyd Mayweather, they be like, I don't mind doing business with him because he's honest and he's loyal and he does great business.
What have you learned in your period of incarceration? What did that do for you as a businessman? Were there things that made you better from that experience? That didn't really rehabilitate me. Well, my thought is basically tough times don't last. Tough people do. And I'm tough. I can get through any situation. Part of the reason Mayweather didn't see much of a change to his business during his time behind bars was because his team kept going.
It was a very tough situation for him. So what we decided to do, we set up an office down in our attorney's office, which was right beside the correctional facility, and we stayed there. We stayed there day in and day out. Trying to facilitate the things coming outside that he needed, and we wanted to show him that we were right there beside him. So to, as best as we could, to kind of do the time with him, because that's where we spent our time.
So you actually got to see him, to go in and see him?
No, we did not see him, but we communicated, daily, through our attorneys, and there were a lot of, because obviously he has a lot of time on his hands, so there were a lot of things that come out that he wanted facilitated, and we were there, to help do that.
And even though the team has made it through that difficult period, Ellerbe says that the money team faces obstacles every day in its quest to break down more barriers.
Along with the success of having a successful brand, there's obviously animosity, jealousy out there amongst peers in other sports,
Like what sports, like UFC and stuff, or?
All sports. you know, with Floyd being the highest paid athlete in sports, you know, I often get those kind of questions like, how in the heck are you guys doing that, you know, with boxing not even being a mainstream sport, you know? And so a lot of times, you know, you look at the criticism that comes your way and it just makes you wonder.
Is race a factor?
I think race does come into play, you know, with myself and Al being the when it comes to African American representation, you know, we're the only two out there when it comes to elite athletes, you know. So I think that sometimes that does come into play, you know, but we don't look at things, you know, from a race standpoint. You know, we just look at it
From a money standpoint.
That's it.
Because the real color that matters at the end of the day is green.
It's green, and our objective, you know, has been to put him in the best situation to be successful. He will be the first boxer and probably if not the first athlete to retire with 9 figures in the bank. You know, obviously Tigers, he's still active, but Floyd will be the first active.
There's got to be some bittersweetness in there for people because they've never seen a team do this. It's always been within the old network of the boxing world. But they need you. Is that where the conflict comes? That if you're not doing business with Floyd Mayweather, then you can't be successful?
We know that we have a tremendous amount of leverage, and you know, this train is going 200 miles an hour, and you know, we're on board and we're working, you know, we're working overtime. We're working overtime.
Overtime, he says, to keep the amount of unprecedented control they've muscled in the boxing world.
This will never be duplicated again. You'll have a lot of great fighters that'll come behind him, you know, but there will never ever be a business model the way that we've, you know, collectively put together.
Why can't it be duplicated?
Well, because it takes so many different elements to come together. Timing, you know, you have to have a stroke of luck.
Now Mayweather faces the challenge of focusing both on the fights in front of him and the larger challenge of maintaining and growing his business. Okay, so what are we going to see from Floyd Mayweather in the next 10 to 15 years? Because you probably have 2 more years in boxing.
Yeah,
right?
I got 2 more years left in the sport. When I'm gonna dedicate myself to the sport of boxing for 2 years. Fight my heart out for the next 2 years. Work hard for the next 2 years. My oldest will be going to college, so hopefully, you know, get my children in the right college, get them the best education they can get, and teach them about becoming entrepreneurs.
But not in the company, not in the family business.
If that's what they want to do, because I don't want to force anything on my children that they don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even though I said I want to force golf on my daughter because I want her to try something different. You know, we need to bring something different to the table instead of just, you don't ever really hear about, Venus and Serena. They made a heavy mark in tennis. I think my daughter can make a heavy mark in golf.
Do you ever worry about the fact that you worked so hard and you came up, you know, from a long way from where you were? Yeah. Do you ever worry about your kids' work ethics and them being able to feel that pain that you felt to become successful?
Well, I'm taking all the bumps and bruises so they won't have to feel the same thing that I've been through. But I'm gonna get more respect because I'm self-made and it's not handed to me, whereas your children is handed to them. So, a lot of people say things like, well, you didn't go out and work for it, your dad gave it to you. Whereas with me, they're like, well, the father, he worked and built the company from the ground up. So I think that my children would not be respected like I'm respected unless they take the company to a multi-billion-dollar company, and then they're gonna get the same respect or even more respect.
You have probably a gang of lawyers. If you're listening 5 to 10% of the time, which I know you're probably listening 100% of the time, you've got to have absorbed a lot of knowledge about business. Was that how you learned, or was there a period of sitting down in almost like a classroom?
No, because it's what's crazy is I've hands-on. Hands-on. It's only 3 ways you can learn. It's only 3 ways any person in this world, in the world, it's only 3 ways you can learn: hearing, seeing, and doing. Those are the only 3 ways you can learn.
At 36, Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. is at the twilight of his career as a boxer, but he's working every day to do more in business. For Ellerbe, keeping on top is a 7-day-a-week job. He's got a big personality, and he's won a lot. Is he difficult to work with at times? I mean, how do you deal with his personality? And because I can't imagine what it would be like if this guy thinks he's right and you know he's wrong.
Oh no, well we have a great relationship. You know, we do everything, you know, privately.
He obviously listens to you.
Oh, he's a great listener. In order to be successful, I think that's one of the elements, you know, to being successful. You know, you have to be an effective listener. You know, he takes advice. He's also very vocal, you know, and hands-on, because it is his business.
We like to call this the penthouse suite. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the presidential. The presidential is right down the hall. But like I said before, we're gonna call this the CEO suite, because I'm a CEO.
All right, thank you very much, Floyd Mayweather. We wish you best. And with Floyd Mayweather, I'm Lee Hawkins. We'll see you next time. In your personal life and in your business, you really seem to have kept your ego in check. How have you done that?
Well, I mean, just staying close enough to people from the beginning. My relationships early on, like I got friends that have always been my friends, so they see me one way.
Is it important to you to fight Mayweather before you retire?
For me, that's important. It's gonna be part of my boxing record.